Finding deals on the MLS. So Claudia has already jumped in, so no need for any type of introduction. This is Claudia Ewen, our managing broker and our director of our coaching division here
Thank you
at
for
West
having me,
USA.
guys. Thank you so
bet.
much. I love being on. I am one of your 4 blessed managing brokers, and I say blessed because I love when I get a chance to speak to you agents. When I'm out there at the offices talking to you guys, when I welcome you new agents, it is great to see that agents are involved. I believe that this company has something that a lot of others don't, is involvement from our people. We're not West USA without our agents. So I think it's really, really great. And you guys listening in, I got to say, dearest gentle reader, yes, this is not Bridgerton, but this is how you get your information, right? So I was thinking about that as I saw the last episode this past weekend. That is something where they pick up their gossip. What's happening lately? So this is pretty much whistle down. This is what we do. We're giving out that information. It's not gossip, but it is the latest and greatest.
We get to gossip?
Right? Right. That's a lot to talk about. No, but like, for example, FinCEN, right? It's on everyone's mind. It's coming up. I know you guys already showed the lovely slide. I understand. Thank you so much for doing that to me. But I wanted to let you guys know. So first off, the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. That's what it stands for, and it's very legit, right? It sounds very important because it is. So we've always said when you have someone with proof of funds, you want to have that proof of funds. You want to have some documentation. If you're a hardworking and diligent agent, you already know that if you have a buyer who's in an LLC or trust, you're going to need that documentation because our contracts are escrow instructions. So the title company is going to need to see that. I love that American Title has put this together for us because if you're an agent like certain people who want just the nitty gritty, highlight it for me, ring any bells, Mike? Like, tell me what I need to know.
I feel like you were gossiping about me right now.
I was. So you can take a look at the very bottom of this page. If you don't like charts, you don't like all the letters and words, take a look at the bottom. How realtors can prepare. Identify early if the buyer is an entity or trust. If you have a buyer that tells you that they're going to be buying a property and they're buying it through a trust, pay attention. Yeah. Okay, we got to reach out to title. Let's make sure we have what we need. Make sure you have your proof of funds. If it's a hard money loan, guess what? That's not a loan. That's treated as cash, right? So let's pay attention to what we're doing. Nobody wants to go through negotiating for a good deal for your buyer, getting the meeting of the minds. You know, everyone wants to sell, everyone wants to buy. You're going good. And then at the last minute, 3 days, 5 days before closing, this comes up. You don't want that to blow up your deals.
You know, this originally came out back in the 80s, and it really is really the same thing. And what it was a goal to try to find the sources of monies that were through drug cartels, trafficking, things of this nature. It was to identify illegal activities because those were the people who had $10,000 in cash or more. And so the banks for decades have had to, anytime you, over the course of a year, anytime you deposit more than $10,000 in cash over the course of a year, the bank automatically fills out an 8300 form, which basically sends it to FinCEN and tells them that there is this person who's depositing more cash than that meets the guidelines of this requirement. So now what they're doing is they're finding that people have gone to LLCs and trusts because they're hiding their identity and the ability to have 2-3 trusts, to have 2 or 3 LLCs deep of an ownership of certain organizations that we all think we were taught to do because of tax or liability evasion. These are what they're doing for tax and money evasion, and as a result, that's illegal activity. Right. And so that's the reason why this is being done.
Yeah,
just to let everybody know.
Yeah,
that's the
there are
basis
proper
for
ways
this.
to do that. There are proper ways to run your business and use LLCs and corporations to benefit you, of course. But again, it's no surprise that right now there is a cracking down. I mean, that is definitely happening. I wasn't surprised that they made this a big deal.
Nope.
It is huge. And again, if you don't know what it means or what it's going to entail for your clients, our title partners are great. They will sit down with you. They'll go over with it with you. There should be no transaction where you do not know if it's going to be FinCEN or not.
Right.
Okay. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So that I just wanted to stress that to you guys. If you have more questions on it, please feel free to call in and ask. We're going to be going over it. I'm going to bring it up during React because I will be teaching the listing and buyer presentations tomorrow. So if you wanted to fresh up on that, it's not just for new agents. A lot of agents that have been in the business for a while need to hear it again. They need to go over it again. You know, the listing contract, that owner's delayed. We're having some issues with that. Some agents are not able to either understand it properly. They don't see that if the property is not going to be listed on MLS within 24 to 48 hours after the client signs that listing contract, that is a delayed. It could be coming soon, which is line 17 of the owner's delayed marketing election addendum, or limited addendum, or it's 21, which is limited. It's not going to go on the market right now. It's going to be 2 weeks from now because the seller's not ready yet. Great. Make sure that. Again, it's the age of transparency. A couple of years ago, we went through the value proposition time frame. Now it's all transparency with our buyer brokers, with the owner's delayed form. Now with the FinCEN, it's very much a transparency age. So if you don't know how to explain it or how to talk about it, call us. We can go over it together.
All right.
Yeah.
So investor has $500,000 cash in their savings account. Okay, but they have an LLC, and they want to use their $500,000 in their savings account that's been there for 3 years, and they acquire an investment property. Is this a FinCEN situation?
Is that their personal savings account?
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be. So if it's tied, if they're a member or manager of the LLC, they can definitely use those funds. Again, it's seasoning the funds. We've heard that term before. Usually it's in purchasing a property, right? The lender needs to season someone's funds or the deposit amounts, the source of those funds. If it can be sourced, it can be used.
Remember that an LLC is called a person. So, for instance, if you own an LLC, you have you as a person, and then you have your LLC, which is a person. You might be a member of that LLC, but that LLC is still a separate person.
Sure.
Or if you're a manager, that LLC is still a separate person. So when you move money from your personal bank account into an LLC, Claudia used the term seasoning, but just think of it as more of you're giving money to another person, which is the reason why you have this hiccup.
Yeah, it's the entity. Yeah, it's the entity. And don't forget, those entities do not have signatures. We see that a lot in paperwork. If there's a trust or an LLC, you don't sign it XYZ LLC. The signature is still a natural born signature of a person who is authorized to sign on behalf of that entity.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But if you don't follow the typical signing process, which is listing the name of the LLC by your name, comma, whether you're a manager, member, whatever. Now, here's the big issue with this, and this is what most people don't know. If you don't sign that way and you just use your name, which is a legal signature still for that, you now accept personal exposure outside of your LLC. So the only way you can protect that corporate veil of your LLC is to put the name of the LLC by your name, comma, and your title of that LLC. If you fail to do that and you just use your name, it's still a valid signature, but what you've done is potentially broken that veil, and now anything that you think you're being protected from, you're not. You now have personal liability for it.
Yeah, and if you have questions on how a signature block should look for an LLC or trust, guess what? On our dashboard.
Yeah. Are we still talking
ding.
talking about the FinCEN thing, or have we moved on to?
We moved on from the FinCEN. I think we're working on other stuff.
But the only reason because Todd's stressing me out right now because I got a link for my title rep. I got to do one for our LLC, and I want to make sure when I sign it, this FinCEN thing that I do it right. And I'm too pretty for prison, Claudia. Okay, let's just get that out there.
So the FinCEN thing for your LLC is just going to be based upon the fact of, is it a pass-through? Again, I'm not a tax accountant, so talk to your tax planner. But if it's a disregarded entity, so that money and income passes straight through, it's still a separate individual company. So you want to make sure you sign it that way. The money is what FinCEN is tracking.
Okay.
So
before we get too far from FinCEN, because the questions are coming, and I'm going to preface this with your title representatives should have a lot of information on this. So the question is, I have a deal in escrow with an investor. We've not done the FinCEN reporting. March 1st is come and gone. We don't close for another 2 weeks. Should I be reaching out to my title representative today and getting this reporting done?
Totally. Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
well, I want to clarify that because there's sometimes some confusion.
Yeah.
In this situation, your title representative, we think of the person that comes and is giving us donuts and coffee.
Thank you. Correct.
Okay. In this situation, you should be speaking directly with your escrow officer.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Good
Because
Yeah.
that's who
Yes.
knows this
And if
stuff.
you're not sure who the escrow officer is, call
your rep.
call the rep.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So our marketing reps do much more than bring us coffee and donuts. I mean,
That's my favorite part.
yeah, they come out and they show up for us. They give us the information. They
Thank you,
pass
Claudia.
on.
That was nice.
Yeah, well, they do. They work
they
hard.
are.
They pass on the information to us. They give us some great pointers and tips for marketing, for paperwork. Those folders that they create for us, the buyer guides, seller guides, they do a lot of work. They bring more than just. I mean, my
I
gals,
was
you
was
know,
making a point
They brought
of
breakfast
of,
burritos to
of-
us.
Yep.
I mean, come on.
of your escrow officer,
Yeah.
your point of
So-
contact
Right.
for questions about this.
You mentioned you're too pretty for
Prison,
incarceration. So
yeah.
are you going to be the orange is the new black? I mean, this is you now. Are you going to be talking about this more? I mean, what's going on?
I'm just going to refer to my escrow officer.
See how your head goes there
Yeah.
right away. You better talk to your escrow.
Nick,
officer.
we need a
clarify.
disclosure.
Well, I want to clarify one more thing because the questions are valid and they're good questions.
they are.
Yes.
We talk about new documents coming from AAR, ADRE. We talk about FinCEN stuff. FinCEN is something that will impact open escrow. When the department rolls out new documentation, most of the time we're as a brokerage not going to require you to go backwards. So there's a little bit of difference there. That's why I think clarifying that is a good thing, and you should be doing that. And that's why you should be reaching out to your brokers, having that conversation. So in this instance, if you have an investor, you're working with someone who's doing hard money or private loan, you need to make sure to have that conversation with your title. And if you're working with a buyer and you don't know where their financing is coming from, you probably should start having that conversation very early on in the process.
Yeah, read your purchase contract. You need to have proof of funds or pre-qual, by AAR pre-qual, I mean, right? So read what you're filling out and what you're utilizing. I want to make sure that you guys, if you haven't seen this handout by the title companies, reach out and get one. You can reach out to me. I'll forward it to you. There's a lot of great information on this document.
Nick, that's a good point. There's one more piece of this, and we've been using this word, and it doesn't have to do with this word at all, and that's the word investor. Take that out of this vocabulary. FinCEN has nothing to do per se with the investor. It's the type of ownership interest. It's the money. That's what they care about.
Yeah, good point.
Yep. I don't know if you had any other topics you want to talk about or what's going on.
No,
Mike?
go
How
for-
you
go
feeling
for it.
lately?
Let's just talk about stuff.
Let's
talk
talk
about stuff.
I got a lot of stuff to talk
Let's
about.
gossip.
Oh, hey,
No,
I'm telling
can't do
you,
that.
this is Lady Whistledown. No, we're here to bring you guys all the information. So it's not gossip, but it's work talk, right? It's around the water cooler. What are you hearing? So since the updates to the commissioner standards, there's been a lot of talk about advertising. West USA here, we like to prepare. So we have a document for that, something you guys can go to as a source. It'll be going out, but one of our amazing managing brokers, I mean, not myself, but Dean. So shout out to Dean.
I was never going to go with him
No,
on
oh my
this.
gosh, he's a wealth of knowledge.
He's the man.
Wealth, he is the man. So I appreciate him and his diligence, but he put together some really good advertising standards and policies for us at West USA. So I want to make sure you guys are aware of all the changes, right? So the big one a lot of people get confused with is owner agent. If there's an owner agent listing, yes, if I'm listing my property, I'm going to have the owner agent writer. That is we've already known we've had to do that. I disclose it on contracts. But now, if I were to list Todd's home and Todd's a licensed real estate agent, I still have to have the owner agent writer.
On everything, yep.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
So on everything. So and marketing is the sign. So don't forget the sign. We have a lot of agents that are forgetting to go out. If you're going to do any real estate agent's property, if you're going to list it, you have to disclose that they're an owner agent. That's
Yeah, and
open
the
record.
disclosure in the contract part has nothing to do with the advertising. There's a separate statute that requires that.
Correct.
I did not know that.
You did not know that?
No, I mean, obviously, I knew that if I'm listing my property, I have to have the owner agent writer on there. But if I'm listing another person's, what if that agent is, because where I get into the situation, what if that agent is out of state?
Well, that has to be disclosed that they're a licensed real estate agent on the contract. So if they're a
But I'm
licensed
talking about
out
on
of a
that
different
sign
state,
rider.
On the sign writer, I would still use the caution.
Arizona.
It's advertising.
Okay.
It's advertising.
So the other thing comes up when it's owned by an LLC. So Todd owns an LLC. Todd's selling his investment property. Todd's an Arizona licensee. And the LLC that I own is owned by my trust. So the essence is the LLC that owns the real estate is not a licensee. So that doesn't require owner agent on that listing, on any of that information. However, when you write an offer on that property, because of the other law, you are going to have to say that you have a financial interest in that particular property and that you hold an Arizona license. So it's different, but it's the same. It's just if it's an separate LLC, you do not have to have owner agent on the LLC.
Yeah, if you have any kind of
But call your
principal
broker.
ownership, yeah, definitely call in so we can discuss it before. Nobody wants to get hit with
or
an
ownership
infraction.
interest.
Ownership
Yeah, it
interest,
doesn't
right?
even have to be the owner.
Which pertains to a lot of deals that you do, Mike.
It does.
It does.
I'm just sitting here thinking, what do I say,
Right.
and
What do you need
what
to
I
do?
do? I just
Right.
keep to myself right now, and so I'm going to opt to keep to myself right now.
You know, Mike, we tell our agents all the time, and even if with another brokerage and you're considering, we always at West USA say call us first before things happen. So if there's a question or a maybe or you're not sure, call us before it becomes an issue. Now it might be too late to walk that back, Mike, but we can help you. There is hope. There is hope for you.
No, it's the creativity that I get into. I just don't need more people
Creativity.
calling you.
Create-
We got some creative things that we do
Yeah,
on our
creative
stuff
things.
that we
Oh,
own and that we flip and that we
yeah,
sell.
Yeah. Are there any more questions that
So
came up, Nick?
that advertising, is that
yeah.
available on the dashboard right
It
now?
will be.
Okay.
Oh,
I don't know if
you
it
get a
is
half
yet.
ding.
It's already on
then.
half a ding.
Oh, it's
Half
already
it-
on.
It's already on there.
Oh, then a
Wow.
full ding.
Hot off the
All right,
presses.
I want to. Were there any more questions from
I
our
wanted to see if
listeners?
there's any more questions.
Okay.
Okay.
I want to get in. I want to get a couple things just to run by you. A lot of these are reminders because I get calls and not broker calls.
You get called.
Hey, please don't call Mike for broker calls, everybody.
Who would? Okay.
Anyways, well, Kyle Fouts calls me all the time.
Oh, sure.
No, so I just wanted to clarify the 3-day cure. You know, sometimes you get into this business. I've been doing it for 23, 24 years.
Yeah.
And then sometimes the simplest thing, you're like, wait a minute, I got to call a broker and just remind myself because, so the days, counting the days
Sure.
on a 3-day cure notice, can we just revisit that
Sure.
of how it works? Like at what point can I issue the 3-day cure? When does day one start? And then if the item is not taken care of, then at what point can I then take the next step?
So if it was a 10-day inspection period, when's day one?
The next day, the day after fully executed contract.
Okay. So then the first day of your cure would begin on the first day following the expiration of when the covenant said that the client, principal was supposed to do something.
Right. So whenever there's a non-compliance, so when you point it out, the day that you point it out is 0. The next day would be day 1. Does that make sense? So
Well, the way that the day that it was supposed to have been finished in the contract is day
Correct.
0. The next
Correct.
day is day 1. Yeah.
So I have, like, a lot of people think, let's just say it's something with a loan we didn't close, okay, and today's close of escrow, okay. Obviously 5 o'clock comes and goes. There's no way that we're closing, but I wouldn't, in my understanding, I would not be able to cure until 12:01 the next day because theoretically they have today to close, correct?
correct. And that could be a cure for no docs at title, because documents are supposed to be at title to prepare for close of escrow. So read your contracts. I like it when agents quote the actual print of the contract. Again, if you're just going off the cuff and saying, well, you didn't close. Okay, but what about the didn't close? What did I not
caused
comply with? Right.
Yeah.
You have to point that out in writing on paper. That's what that's there for, calling it out. Not necessarily like Butch says, cure does not mean cancel.
Right.
The cure is to get, it's a little push, like, okay, I need this. And it actually sets a time frame. Could you continue forward? Sure you can. All parties could be hunky-dory and be fine with an extension, but at least you've pointed out, right, that we have an issue. It's a possible non-compliance. How are we going to continue forward? It's a call to action, if you will, to get things moving.
And so then what about, because theoretically, you could put a buyer in a near impossible situation. So the question is, and I know the answer to the question, but the question is, do weekend days count? And then when you've got a 3-day weekend, and the item that you're curing for is something that cannot possibly be taken care of until a open business day.
Sure, like close of escrow would fall to the next closing date. But you have to be careful because the contract is calendar days. Okay, some people get creative or they don't pay attention, and they'll accept an offer that states business days. Can business happen on a national holiday?
Nope.
Yeah, some business can.
Official business, close of escrow is the county recorder.
Oh no, county recorder is not open. Yeah,
there you go. So you have to be careful again as to what you're advising your clients. I mean, the seller sees it all and they sign it all. But if you don't point that out, oh, look, they called for business days. Our contracts read calendar days.
Yeah, and as far as close of escrow, it says that if, in fact, the close of escrow day falls on a weekend or a legal holiday, then the actual date that it can close on is the next business day where both escrow and the county recorder's office are open. And it says that right in the terms of the contract.
Right in the contract.
Yeah, so that goes to business days, but the contract says days, calendar days.
Yeah, and again, when you call in to the broker team, we're going to reference that purchase contract so that you can start seeing where the answers are.
Right.
So I'm a huge proponent to teaching you how to fish instead of fishing for you. And I think it's a great way for you to learn. If you have time, even you, Mike, take a highlighter, go through your purchase contract, and highlight all the ahas.
I love it.
There are a lot in there.
Yep.
Some people don't realize, and I bring this up at the office meetings, and everyone's like, what? If you have a buyer who has an inspection on a property and the inspector causes damage or something happens during the inspection, who is liable for that repair? It is the buyer's responsibility, line 222, to figure that out. So yes, they can reach out to the inspector. They're covered. Our inspectors are great. They don't shy away from mistakes, and I've seen it firsthand, so it's amazing. Shout out to HCP. Love you guys. I want to make sure that we're not saying, okay, Mr. Seller, it's your problem. You're still liable. It's your property. That may be the case. It's their home. But per the purchase contract, that has a lot of lovely language. Line 222 points it out. So make sure that you're paying attention to that.
All right, that's a good idea.
Yeah, it's a good idea to pay attention
Can
to
I
your
no, I was about to say, can I borrow a highlighter?
You're going to need several.
All right. I didn't know whether you... That guy needs a... Anyway, so our West USA Facebook group pages. Understanding is that there are no consumers on them. They're just agents only.
Yes,
So-
they're closed
Supposed to
Facebook
be
groups.
that.
So I have a delayed listing. Okay, I know we are not going on the MLS for 30 days or whatever the case is.
Coming soon.
Okay.
That's what
No, it's not going on. It's not going
Delayed is coming soon.
on. Okay. Well, we're not even going.
So you're going limited for a while.
Okay, we'll go limited for a while. You say potato, I say potato.
Means-
Actually,
means
I'm more
totally
simple. I'm a
Means
potato
different
guy.
things. This is why we are where we are, Mike. They mean different things.
One's French fries and one's a baked potato, Mike. They might be potatoes.
Okay,
but-
so we're not hitting the market for 30 days.
Okay.
I'm aware that I cannot post it. I cannot market the property. I can't do any of that
to the
stuff.
consumer. Right.
But can I take a picture and go to our closed West USA Facebook groups and say, hey, I've got this listing that is going to be going live in 30 days from now. what am I allowed to do and what am I not allowed to do.
Have you read the owner's delayed marketing limited?
Yeah, I
You've
have.
read it?
Mhm.
Okay.
This is a
Okay.
exercise to benefit our listeners.
Okay, I wanted to make sure you have it. Okay, so it says no marketing to the general public.
Right.
It is a limited listing, which means it's office only. Our Facebook groups are closed for that same reason. For that and to educate our agents. It's a resource for us. It's our tool. So yes, if you have a limited listing, share it with your fellow agents in the office. It's a limited listing. No marketing to the general public or MLS.
And that's West USA brokerage wide. So it doesn't have to be just Arrowhead or Chandler. You can share that information with every single West USA licensed real estate agent. That is not considered general to the public.
Yeah,
However, that's why,
Okay.
that's why the managers have to be prudent and make sure that no affiliate like a home warranty company or somebody else is in that group, because if it is, it now makes that group public, not private. And the same thing with staff. If we have a staff member that is not a licensed real estate agent, they're not allowed to be members of that either. Yeah,
All right.
check it out.
Well, having said that, if you have a limited listing that's office only, old agents that are from West USA, you can do that. So everyone who sees Mike on Thursday at the spring
Yeah,
training game,
I have one coming up.
There you
I
go.
got one. All right, let's
there you
talk
go.
on
Ask him
Thursday.
what's cooking. I'm sure he's got something for us.
I either will take a beer or a hot dog.
One hot dog? Come on now.
Well, if we're gonna have 30 agents come up to me and want information, I can only eat so many hot dogs in one
So
setting,
we'll work
and
for hot
it's
dogs.
more than you would think.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing everybody out there. Again,
Yeah, it's gonna
thank
be
you guys
great.
so much for having me on.
Nick is checking to make sure. So on the concept of whether staff members that are non-licensed, with West
staff's
USA
allowed to-
No, I
their
don't want to
members
make
are-
that comment yet because I don't believe that's accurate. But
Anyways, let's,
as of right now, that's the deal.
All right, Claudia, we appreciate it. And we leave everybody with the quote of the day. The difference between a successful person and others is not a lack of strength, not a lack of knowledge, but rather a lack in will. Vince Lombardi. Appreciate everybody joining us today. Go out and sell a home.